Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. As I have an increasingly larger collection of antique tools, vintage tools, well, as you see here, these are wrenches, etc. I thought it would be interesting to do something slightly different with them rather than just cleaning them up. Basically, pick an old tool. Today it's going to be this one here. And talk about it, talk a bit about its history, see how it works, see how it's been made, etc. So, as I say, I think we'll start with this little Abingdon ECCO here. I picked it up as a one of 3 items, this lot here, from one of my favourite stalls at the flea market or car boot sale, whichever you like. The set cost me £11. It was £8 for this rather nice, rigid, offset pipe wrench. It's aluminium, by the way. We have a nice little footprint wrench here. That's £2 for that one. And obviously this rather nice example of an Abingdon ECCO. This one is 5 inches in length, and the company also made a 3-inch version which was called the Baby ECCO, and there was a larger 7-inch version too. They made these wrenches between 1906 and 1925 according to my research. So this makes this little beauty here somewhere between 113 and 94 years old. So just a little bit older than I am then. When I got this from the stall at the car boot sale or flea market, it was considerably rusted, as you can see here. It was slightly more rusted on the one side than it is on the other side. And it was quite like sandpaper, to be honest with you, so I thought, yes, what's this going to come up like if I try and clean it up? Anyway, yesterday I decided to stick it on the wire wheel for a few moments. Not very long at all, didn't take a great deal. It needed a little bit of degreasing beforehand, obviously. It was a bit grubby, and so it went on the wire wheel. And basically, this is what you see here, how it's come up quite nicely. Look at this. There's no pitting at all. So that sandpaper like rust that was on this particular side, I don't know, it's just a surface rust. I mean, the finish on this is, well, it's pristine, look. It's almost like new, like it was in the as it came out of the factory, more or less, I would have thought. It's obviously got a few marks, wear marks on it, because I think somebody's used it. You can tell from the jaw here, there's a few dents in the jaws where it's been used. Interestingly, I believe this is made from 5 different pieces. You've got the main body here, that's one part. It's just folded over. The second part is a little thumb wheel here. Then we have the jaw, and looking in the top here, I think you can see there's a little threaded bar in there that's actuated by the thumb wheel. That is attached to the jaw, so that's another bit. And then there's this little bit here which has been riveted in just in there. So obviously they've folded this over, folded the main body over, dropped all the gubbins in, put the thumb wheel on, and then they've riveted this section here in to sort of finish it off. So I can't take this apart to clean it any more than I have, because it just simply won't come apart without drilling rivets out, and I'm not about to do that. I don't know how they did it, but they've got an absolutely beautiful finish along here. So look at that. That is an almost perfect join going on just there, guys. I don't know how they managed it, but they've done a very, very good job on this little fellow. And so you can see the little the extra bits here. The extra bit that's been put in just there. You can just about see the rivets. There's one of the rivets just there, and I think the second one's over here somewhere. And you can see where they've stamped Abingdon ECCO into the body just here, if I can get it into focus. And over the other side we have the patent number. I believe that's the patent number, design number, whatever. British made. Even when I got it home from the boot sale, it ran very nicely indeed. I have introduced a little bit of 3-in-1 oil into the thread, which makes it run even nicer. Obviously, with this thing being made of so many components, there is a little bit of a problem when you close it up. You can actually see the jaws are slightly misaligned when it's closed up. I'll just about make that out there, guys. So, you know, it's just something to do with the design. Obviously, you're not going to get it any better than that, because it's folded over and whatever. It's not machined out or anything, but it runs really, really nicely. The materials used are very nice. It's very smooth. There's no rough edges on this at all. There's probably a little corner just there on the bottom of the jaws, but it's very nice to handle actually. And as I say, it runs very nicely indeed. I think what we'd better do is give it a go. See if it can actually, after all these years later, see if it can still do what it was supposed to do. Unfortunately, it won't open wide enough to use the monstrous M24 nylock nut, but I do have a couple of other nylock nuts we can try with it. This one here being somewhere in the line of M12, I do believe, M12 nylock nut here. Let's get the little ECCO, get him snugged up on the old nut here. There we go. It's a nice fit, and the jaws are fairly nice, fairly well aligned as well, because you can slip it on and off. Look. In other words, the jaws are they're not done like this, is what I'm saying. They're nice and parallel to each other, so it'll fit on the nut very nicely. You can slide it on and off. Not doing too bad a job on that M12 then. I think this one's an M8 nylock. So get him on there. Oh, wrong way. Martin. As you can see, it's managing the M8 as well. Very nicely too. Now, just before we get onto a full-on tightening test with this nut and bolt here, I'd just like to point out that there is actually a little fracture line on the old spanner just here. I think you can just about make it out here. There it is. I'm hoping it's not going to affect the tests at all, but we'll give it a go anyway with the full-on tightening. But you know, it's been there probably for a goodly amount of the spanner's life, so hopefully it won't affect what we're doing with it today. Okay then, let's give it a proper tightening test then. As you can see, the nut is nice and loose here, so we'll get him snugged on and give it a tighten up, and hopefully that fracture won't go any further than it has already. Yep, there we go. You can see the vice is moving about a little bit there, hopefully. There we go, that's nice and tight. It's very tight in fact. Get it back on again. Hopefully the fracture won't move. God, minding me knuckles here. There we go. So it's still doing the business after all these years, guys. So, the old Abingdon ECCO. As I say, this is the 5-inch version. I shall be keeping an eye out for the 7-inch and the 3-inch baby as well. I'd like those in my collection. I do apologise, Mrs. Rathbone has just started mowing the lawn, if you can hear that. Alrighty then, so what do you think? How do you like this kind of review, guys? Would you like to see more reviews of vintage tools other than just cleaning them up? A little bit of history as well to them. As I say, this thing is was produced somewhere between 1906 and 1925 apparently. So making it 113 to 94 years old. So yeah, quite a nice little bit of kit actually. As I say, I like the feel of it. It's nicely made, very nice materials it's made from, very nice and smooth. I'd imagine it was quite nice when it was brand spanking new. But it's the condition that this one's in is very good. As I say, it was quite pitted with rust here, but it's not pitted at all. It was worse than I thought it was going to be. It's really come up really nicely actually, guys. I have many of these old wrenches. These are, I believe, Joseph Lucas. This is a Joseph Lucas. This here is a Joseph Lucas, but it was a government issue and is also got war finish on it as well, so it's not got the proper logos and what have you all over it. This thing here is interesting. This is a King Dick. My research shows this one could be from anywhere between 1881 and 1885, and if you'd like to know why, please let me know and I'll do a review on this one as well. I've been looking at one of these for quite some time. Footprint wrench. This is quite old as well, and I'm wondering if these two were from the same tool kit, toolbox, whatever, because they came out of the same little crate on the same stall at the boot fair, flea market, and they're both in very similar condition. They're both a little bit grubby, and they both could do with a degreasing and a wire brushing. This one's got a bit of paint on it, as you can see just here, and some other mess just here. Again, it runs very sweetly for something that's so old. Very nice indeed, so I'm going to be reviewing this little fellow as well at some point. Okay then everyone, please let me know what you think of this new thread of mine, the vintage tool review. As I say, I've got loads of these old things, so I can do exactly the same thing, give you some history on it. We can see how it works, see what it does, how it was made. In fact, as I say, this one was folded and riveted together, 5 different pieces. This is a similar thing, rivets, etc. So please let me know, guys, what you think. Alright then, everyone, hope you enjoyed this new idea of mine, and hopefully, if you guys like it, I'll be bringing you some more in the near future then. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.